Hello everyone, it's Yana, your favorite Ukrainian troll bot. Yesterday, Russians blew up Kakhovka dam. Yesterday, I couldn't have imagined that I would need to explain you and prove that Russians did it. But here we go, the world again believes Russia. After 450 plus days of Russian terrorism in Ukraine that resulted in destroyed hospitals, schools, maternity hospitals, when railway stations were targeted, when civilian buildings were targeted, critical infrastructure were targeted during the winter that led to blackouts. After that, Mariupol has been wiped off the face of earth, the world still believes Russia. There are 5 facts that prove Russian responsibility for destroying the Kakhovka dam. First one. Already in October 2022, President Zelensky shared and informed that Kakhovka dam was mined. He shared that if Russians are really preparing such a terrorist attack, that means that occupiers understand and they are aware of their inability to control the south of Ukraine, which means not only Kherson but also Crimea. And now, when we know that counter-offensive of Ukrainians are preparing and very close, they are suddenly blowing up the dam, very unexpectedly. The second fact, particularly Russians controlled the dam, its locks, and the water level in the reservoir for a year. Since New Year, they locked the dam and the water level were increasing in the reservoir, so they can maximize the effect of the water flood. Third, the fact that this operation was planned in advance is also indicated by the fact that at the time of the explosion, Russian equipment had been withdrawn already and there were no signs of a sudden evacuation of Russian soldiers. Unlike Ukrainian soldiers who had to evacuate to the right bank of Dnipro River, and meanwhile Russians not just expected this, but also they are prepared their own artillery so they can try to hit Ukrainian vessels during the evacuation. Fourth, the arguments of the Russians about the missile attack of Ukrainian armed forces on the dam are not confirmed by Russian soldiers themselves who were at the dam, but also not by the nature of the destruction. In 1941, during the Second World War, the Soviet troops blown up the dam. 20 tons of explosives were needed, 20 tons of explosives. It is equivalent to 215 HIMARS missiles or 40 Storm Shadows. So as you see, it is impossible to realize on the distance. Fifth one. Simply, we don't have any motivation to blow up the dam because all negative consequences lie on Ukrainians in Ukraine. First one, humanitarian aid. Thousands of people are left without homes. All their homes are destroyed, which will cost millions of dollars. Second one, ecology. Negative consequences on the ecology. Thousands of kinds of fishes, mollusks, animals will die. It will destroy the ecosystem of the south of Ukraine. The third one, because of the dam, the irrigation system of the Kherson region and the south of Ukraine is destroyed, and only in Kherson region there were about 1.4 million of hectares of cultivated land, which will lead to the problems in the agriculture sector. I feel very humiliated, I feel overwhelmed and sad that after so many war crimes that Russians committed in Ukraine and in other countries, we still need to prove that Russians did it, Russians committed it. They have no value of their lives, they have no value of Ukraine, and their terrorism is a systematic approach. Stand with Ukraine.